story begins in 1941, during a big war between Japan and America. While this war is going on, we are taken to a small Hawaii island called Niihau. A few people live on this island like a close family, peacefully and completely unaware of what's happening in the outside world. In this family, some are Americans and some are Japanese. One day, a Japanese fighter plane called Zero, which was bombing American forces, gets damaged. The pilot can't return to base and crashes on the island. Luckily, a man named Ben Kanahele and his friend, who are fishing nearby, see the crash. They quickly help the pilot out of the plane and bring him to the shore. The pilot Shigenori is badly injured, so they take him for medical help, but they have no idea that he is an enemy soldier. They think he's just a Japanese pilot who made an emergency landing. The people on the island live very simply and follow old traditions. They don't have much contact with the outside world. Only one person travels to a nearby city to bring back supplies for the island every few weeks. They don't even have a radio or news, so they don't know a war has started. After some time, the pilot wakes up. People start asking him questions, but since he only speaks Japanese and they speak English, they can't understand each other. So Ben quickly sends someone to bring Yoshio Harada, a Japanese speaker who lives on the island. Yoshio comes and talks to the pilot in Japanese and listens to his full story. But then something strange happens. Yoshio lies to everyone else. He doesn't tell them what the pilot said. However, another Japanese man on the island, Matsu, overhears the real conversation between the pilot and Yoshio. That evening, while everyone is having dinner, Matsu asks Yoshio, "Why did you lie to everyone?" At first, Yoshio denies it, but then Matsu says, "I heard everything the pilot told you." Hearing this, Yoshio gets scared and threatens Matsu, telling him not to tell anyone that Japan and America are at war. He warns that if the Americans on the island find out the truth, they will treat all the Japanese people there as enemies too. Matsu stays silent. The next morning, the pilot remembers how his plane crashed. He wakes up suddenly and tries to sneak away with his belongings, hoping to escape. But when he looks toward the ocean, he realizes that his plane is gone. Feeling hopeless, he sits inside a wooden hut and goes through his things. There he finds a photo of his wife and daughter. This brings back memory. He sees a vision of a peaceful time before the war, when he was spending a happy weekend with his wife. Meanwhile, Ben's wife Ella comes in and talks to pilot. She says, "You're still not feeling well. You should rest." But the pilot doesn't understand what she's saying. Then Kate says, "My husband Ben saved your life. Do you have any family?" The pilot nods and replies, "Yes." Kate then says, "We'll send you home soon." This makes the pilot feel a little happy. On the other side, when Yoshio goes into his room, his wife Irene Harada asks him, "Is everything okay?" Yoshio tells her the whole truth about the pilot. He says, "The plane didn't just crash. The Americans shot it down because there's a war going on between Japan and America. But no one here knows that yet. Only you, me, and Matsu know." Hearing this, Irene becomes sad and tells him, "You should talk to Matsu. We need some time to figure out how to control the situation." Yoshio goes to Matsu to talk, but Matsu ignores him and walks away without saying anything. Meanwhile, when Ben is about to go hunting, his wife tells him, "The pilot is alone. Take him with you. Maybe he'll feel better seeing the island. He's been quiet ever since he woke up." Ben goes to the doctor and asks, "How is the pilot doing?" The doctor replies, "He's better now, but it'll take more time for his wounds to fully heal." Ben then asks, "Can he walk?" The doctor says, "Yes." So Ben takes the pilot with him. The pilot also picks up a bow for archery. They head toward the jungle to hunt. There, Ben spots a wild pig and quickly aims at it. Just then, the pilot points his bow at Ben from behind. It looks like he's about to shoot Ben, but instead he shoots the other pig. They both carry the pig and sit by the beach for a while to relax before returning home. Later, Yoshio returns to his wife and says, "I talked to Matsu, but he didn't like the idea. We'll have to think of another plan. We don't have much time." Hearing this, his wife becomes even more worried. After some time, Ben and the pilot bring the hunted animal back home. The people thank the pilot for hunting. In the evening, after everyone eats food and enjoys, Yoshio goes to Matsu to convince him again. At first, Matsu refuses and says, "These people are not strangers. They are our own. They gave us shelter and food for so many days. I can't betray them." But Yoshio tries hard to convince him and says, "At least go near the plane. Maybe you will find some information. You can do this much for us." Then Matsu agrees. He secretly goes underwater where the plane had crashed, but after searching a lot, he doesn't find any proof or information. So he comes back and tells Yoshio and his wife, there is nothing there except the plane. Then Matsu leaves angrily. The next day, when the pilot is sitting near the sea, Ben comes again with his friends after catching fish. The pilot says beautiful in English, but he says it wrong, so everyone laughs at him. Then the pilot says, "I saw you guys trying to catch fish, but you couldn't do it properly." Then he goes to catch fish himself, and everyone stands there watching him. In the evening, Yoshio goes to Huila and tells him, "I know you went to the crash site and found some papers. Give them to me. I will give you some money in return. But WWII hates Japanese people, so he tells Yoshio to leave his house. Yoshio goes away. Then WWII tries to decode those papers to find out where the pilot came from, but he cannot decode them. He gets angry. At midnight, WWII goes to Ben and gives him those papers. He also gives him a gun and says, I found these in the crashed plane. This gun was with the pilot. When Ben sees the gun, he starts feeling suspicious. WWII tells him, Yoshio came to me. He was offering me money for these papers. Ben asks, what will he do with these papers? WWII says, I have no idea, but I strongly feel something is wrong. Ben asks clearly, what do you want to say? WWII says, I think he is a spy. But Ben does not believe him and says, I saw with my own eyes that his plane crashed. These things prove nothing. Every pilot carries maps and a gun for safety. But WWII still feels something is wrong. Ben does not believe his words, so he returns the things to WWII and says, just keep an eye on them and don't let them out of your sight. For now, I need to rest. It's already quite late. The next day, Ben, who is the chief of this place, gathers everyone and tells them, I know you all are waiting for Alimer. I also know he is late this time, but don't worry. We have enough food for next week. But one man asks, what will we do after that? We need supplies, and we are not getting enough animals to hunt for our survival. Another man says, we should contact Alimer. But others say, how can we contact him? We don't have a radio. Then Matsu says, there is a way. A few days ago, we found a radio. If we fix it, we can talk to him. Ben orders Haku, bring that radio and give it to Matsu so he can set it up. Haku and Yoshio start looking for the radio. Yoshio finds it but hides it, thinking no one should know what is happening outside. But when Haku searches the place where Yoshio had hidden it, he finds the radio and takes it to Matsu to repair it. When Matsu fixes it, they hear on the radio that there is a war going on between Japan and America. Hearing this, Ben becomes angry. He realizes that the pilot is also a soldier fighting against them. Then Yoshio runs with his wife to the pilot's room and tells him to escape quickly. But soon Ben arrives there and knocks the pilot unconscious. When the pilot opens his eyes, he sees he is tied to a chair. Eika Hale comes there and starts beating him angrily. But Ben sees this and quickly stops him. Ben scolds him, what are you doing? I told you to keep an eye on him, not to kill him. The man says, you know what he did to us. Ben says, I know everything. But for now, no one will touch him. No one. Then Ben orders another man to guard outside the pilot's room to keep watch. The next morning, when Ben is sitting near the radio, Ella comes and asks, any news? Ben replies, not yet. They are still talking. At that time, Yoshio comes there, so Ella leaves. Yoshio asks Ben, so what have you decided about the pilot? Ben says, the village council will decide. We will wait for Alimer till tomorrow. If he comes, he will take the pilot away. If he doesn't come by tomorrow, then I will take him myself to the council. Yoshio says, are you crazy? Do you know what they will do to him? Ben asks, what else can we do? You know he was fighting against us. He is responsible for the deaths of many people. We know very well what should be done with him. You don't need to worry about this. Yoshio leaves and goes to his room, where his wife is packing their things to leave in the evening, secretly. Yoshio asks her, what are you doing? She says, you know what they did to the pilot. It is good that Alimer is late so we can escape. These people don't see us as Hawaiians. They see us as Japanese because our faces and voices are different. They don't see our personality, only our race. That's why they think we are enemy. Yoshio understands. Both quickly pack their things and put them in a small boat to escape. Before leaving, they go to the pilot's room to take him with them. But Haku, who is on duty to guard, does not let them enter. Yoshio's wife tells Haku, he has been locked all day. He hasn't eaten anything. Let us give him food and then we will leave. Haku agrees and lets them in. But in the food items, they had hidden some weapons for the pilot to use for his safety. Yoshio explains his plan to the pilot, saying they should do a small drama to escape. The pilot understands and starts fighting with Yoshio. Haku, who doesn't know it's just acting, comes in between and pushes the pilot. Then the pilot, in anger, takes a knife from the food packet and attacks Haku, killing him there. Seeing this, Yoshio and his wife get worried and say, what have you done? We were taking you out without killing anyone, but you killed Haku, the pilot says. Before leaving, I need my documents or I need to destroy them. Only then will I leave. Yoshio takes him to WWII's room to find them, but luckily at that time, WWII is in the bathroom and sees them enter. When everyone searches WWII's room, they can't find the documents anywhere, but the pilot finds his gun. He quickly picks it up and reloads it. At that moment, WWII runs to the garage and grabs his shotgun. He fires at the pilot and injures him, but then the pilot also fires back. WWII drops his shotgun and runs away. The pilot picks up WWII's shotgun and goes with Yoshio to follow WWII to kill him. While they are going, Ella, who is walking outside, sees Yoshio and the pilot. She tries to run away, but Yoshio catches her and locks her in a room. On the other side, Irene goes to Matsu and lies to him. She says, the pilot is injured. Haku shot him, and I need your help. Both of them go to the doctor. The doctor gets worried seeing them and asks, "Is everything okay?" Irene says, "We need your help." The doctor thinks something has happened to Haku and runs towards him. But then Irene takes out a gun and points it at the doctor, saying, "You have to come with us." Matsu says, "This is not right." But Irene angrily tells him to quickly pick up some bandages. Meanwhile, Hawila comes back to the village and starts ringing the bell. Everyone gathered. Hawila tells them, "They came to take me, but I shot at them and ran into the jungle." Ben comes and asks, "Who did you shoot at?" Hawila replies, "At the pilot." Ben quickly runs toward the jail room and finds Haku's dead body. Everyone gets worried seeing this. Ben orders one man to take everyone to a safe place. Hawila says, "Take everyone to my family's burial cave. They will be safe there." The man takes everyone there. Then Ben asks Hawila, "You said they came to take you. Who came to take you?" Hawila replies, "Yoshio and Irene." Ben asks, "Why did they want to take you?" Hawila says, "For the document." Ben quickly takes Yoshio and Irene's luggage off the boat and prepares to go to Kauai to bring help. But Hawila stops him and decides to go himself because he knows where to go and promises to come back soon with help. Ben agrees and gives him back the papers. Then Ben goes to look for Ella. On the other side, the pilot, Yoshio, and Ella are hiding in a room. Ella tells Yoshio, "You can stop all this and let me go. Nothing bad has happened yet." But Yoshio tells her to keep quiet. Then Irene comes there with the doctor. The pilot takes the bandages from Matsu and points a gun at the doctor, telling him to help bandage his wound. The doctor gets scared and agrees to help. After some time, Ben also comes there. The pilot points the gun at him. Ben asks, "What do you want? If you want to leave, then go. We won't stop you." But Yoshio says he will not go without his documents. Ben says the documents are with Hawila, and he has already left. Then Yoshio threatens Ben, saying, "Go and bring Hawila back. You know every corner of this island. For now, no bloodshed will happen here because the pilot will not leave without his document." Ben leaves the room. The pilot gets angry and points his gun at Ella, saying, "All this is happening because of your husband." Matsu comes in between, but the pilot quickly injures him. Hearing the noise, Ben runs back into the room and attacks the pilot. The pilot's shotgun falls down. Yoshio picks it up. Matsu tries his best to take the shotgun from Yoshio, but sadly Yoshio shoots him. Then the pilot quickly picks up a gun lying there and shoots Ben, injuring him. Seeing her husband hurt, Ella attacks the pilot, but the pilot tackles her and throws her down. When he is about to strangle Ella, Ben gets up again and pushes the pilot outside. There, both of them start fighting for a long time. During the fight, the pilot takes a knife out from his shoes and tries to stab Ben, but Ben quickly throws him to the other side and is about to kill him when Ella stops him. The pilot, who didn't want to get caught by the American army, kills himself. Meanwhile, inside the room, Yoshio picks up the gun and tells his wife, "All this happened because of me." He feels guilty. He thinks he has brought shame to the Japanese people and has broken the trust of his island community. In depression, he kills himself. The next morning, Hawila comes back with the U.S. soldiers. The soldiers quickly arrest Irene and put her in jail for 31 months. They also take Matsu with them and send him to a U.S.-based internment camp. He is released in 1945 and returns to his island, Niihau. And Ben gets a Medal of Merit for his bravery. But the movie ends by showing that the biggest loss of war is not suffered by soldiers, but by civilians who become part of the war for no reason. An Enemy Within is a movie based on a true story known as the Niihau incident. With this, the story of this film ends here. Hope you like this story. I will meet you in the next recap in the coming video. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye.